At this time, I call regular meeting to order. Next up, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Garwell, can you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Governing Board President, Ms. Patricia Jimenez.
Present.
Governing Board Vice President, Ms. Maria Guzman.
Present.
Governing Board Member, Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz.
Here.
Governing Board Member, Ms. Maria Hernandez. Governing Board Member, Mr. Harry Garwa.
Thank you. Next, approval of April 17, 2025 regular governing board meeting agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next, approval of March 27, 2025 regular governing board meeting minutes. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, changes? Hearing none, call for the vote. Motion carries. Next, approval of April 3rd, 2025 special governing board meeting with executive session meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Call for the vote. Okay, motion carries. Next is governing board reports. First is myself. I have no report. Next is Ms. Guzman.
Thank you. I have no report.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Santa Cruz.
I have no report. I just want to welcome everybody here.
Thank you. Mr. Garwell.
Yes, Madam President. Just wanted to clarify a few things. In reference to a non-compliance letter we received yesterday from the Arizona Department Auditor General, I just want to make sure we understand that this is a normal process that we're going to go through. So I don't want to, get it overblown. And one of the things that we did find out, I'm sorry, is that this process is more extensive and it takes a longer time than a typical single audit as part of the FY 24 review. And the Auditor General is aware of this timeline. So this is not anything new. It's not anything that's a red flag. It's just part of the process that we're going through. So I wanted to make sure because this will become public record. And, I want to make sure our community understands this. Also, I forwarded a recent directive I received to Dr. Lema from the U.S. Department of Education that looks for funding for some of our funding, which is a compliance to Title 4 or 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is now required by the federal government. So I just want to make sure that we've gotten that in front of our administration so that we can stay into compliance. So with that, Madam President, that ends my report.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Hernandez.
I just want to welcome everyone here also this evening, and I have no report.
Thank you. Next, we have Superintendent update, Dr. Lilly.
Madam President, members of the board, the ISAC community, thank you for being here tonight. As we near the end of the school year, I want to take the moment to share and celebrate the meaningful ways our students, families, and staff continue to engage, grow, and support one another across our district. We're proud to celebrate 81 families from PDS, MKU, Zito, Butler, and Sutton who graduated this semester from the We Grad, a family engagement offered in partnership with Arizona State University. This is a unique opportunity that empowers families to learn alongside their children and strengthen connections between home and school. All other district schools held their We Grad family graduations earlier this school year, and we're grateful to every family who participated. Your commitment continues to inspire us. Last week, also, the Heart of Isaac team hosted a vibrant resource day at Estrellas Brillantes, where families received fresh produce from the local farms through our ongoing partnership with the University of Arizona, and were connected to essential community services. We also were able to assist families with kindergarten registration for next year. Thank you to our partners who made this event such a valuable support to our families. This week also marked the final session of the year for teachers participating in the new teacher induction program. This dedicated group of teachers remain actively engaged throughout the year in learning the art and science of teaching. Their continued enthusiasm for professional growth is a powerful reminder of the commitment that we have as educators and what we bring to the classroom each day. Thank you for continuing to invest in your craft and most especially in our students. Last Thursday and then again yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet with families from Moya and Co. as part of the community chats with the interim superintendent. We received key information for from the April 3rd meeting. I reviewed that key information from the public meeting, April 3rd, and also utilize that information to prepare the presentation for this upcoming meeting next week. That input that those families provides the guide and essential information that we will be sharing next week. Thank you for all your ongoing commitment to our student learning and the ISAC community and to one another. And Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we have new business information, discussion, and action. First, we have approval of the 2025-2026 District Leadership Reorganization. Dr. Lily Mesalema, Interim Superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Lema, Ms. Lema?
Madam President, members of the board, ISAC community. Tonight, we bring forward a recommendation for a revised district organizational chart for the upcoming school year based on the most recent reduction in force for next year and as part of our district's right-sizing efforts. This recommendation is driven by three factors. First, financial stability and sustainability. The district is currently facing significant financial constraints with the majority of our budget committed to salaries and benefits. It is essential that we make a thoughtful and responsible adjustment to our staffing structure. These changes will help the district achieve fiscal solvency and avoid further financial instability while ensuring that we continue to meet our core educational responsibilities. Second one is alignment with the current enrollment and student needs. Our student enrollment has declined over the past few years, and projections indicate the trend will continue. The current district-level staffing structure was designed for a larger student population and no longer aligns with the realities of our district enrollment. Adjusting staffing levels for district personnel and the organizational structure will allow us to better allocate resources where they are needed and ensuring equitable support for all of our students. Third, improved efficiency and role clarity. This restructuring also provides an opportunity to streamline our operations and improve internal efficiencies. The updated organizational chart is designed to reduce redundancies, clarify reporting relationships, and enhance coordination across departments. These changes will help us operate more effectively and provide more focused support to our schools, staff, and students. If the proposed reorganization is approved tonight, job descriptions will also be revised to align with the new structure and support our goal of improved efficiency and role clarity. The slides tonight are organized, as you will see, the current organizational chart as it was approved by all of you last spring, and followed by the proposed changes for next year. This proposal is for the district level only and outlines the reduction of 25 positions across all district departments. We will begin with the Office of the Superintendent, followed by each of the three departments composed of cabinet members. Cabinet is made up of the superintendent's core leadership team, teaching and learning, employee relations, and finance. Those leaders who, alongside the superintendent, provide strategic direction and make district-wide decisions. After reviewing all three departments in Cabinet, the next set of slides will be followed by those departments in the executive team. The executive team is proposed to include technology, support services, family and community, and safety. These departments are focused on the day-to-day execution of strategies and initiatives across the organization. In the current organizational chart, you will find some positions highlighted in yellow, green, or gray. The positions in yellow indicate a reduction in force. Green will indicate a change in title, role, or department assignment, and gray indicates the position is vacant this year. Lastly, the financial impact comparison of salaries and benefits will be presented alongside the proposal for the reorganization for each department and summarized at the end of the presentation. So beginning with the Office of the Superintendent, the removal of the Student Services Director and the Director of Federal Programs from Cabinet is one of the changes, and a change for the federal programs to Federal Grants Director, however, continuing to report to the CFO. In the executive team level, there's the addition of the Family and Community Engagement, previously nested under the Curriculum and Instruction Department. The executive team will also comprise of a team of school leaders. The top view of the organization represents all the departments and schools. The Office of the Superintendent for finance allocations is comprised of three individuals: the superintendent, executive assistant to the superintendent and governing board, and the safety and emergency preparedness specialist. The net savings for the superintendent's office, let me go back, is projected to be approximately $61,000. Next is the business department. This department has changed in the following areas: administrative assistant, federal grants, and warehouse. Warehouse has been relocated to support services, and the admin assistant role has been replaced with a food services coordinator position, maintaining the same number of staff members in the department. And as mentioned earlier, the title of the Executive Director of Federal Programs has been changed to Director of Federal Grants. The net savings for the reorganization for the business department is projected to be approximately $52,000. Next is the Human Resource Department. This department has had a reduction in force in the areas of employee well-being and communications. Part of the proposal tonight is to have all three specialists become cross-functional, which means a change in role and title for the benefits specialist. With this reduction in force for the department, the net savings for the reorganization of human resources is projected to be approximately $286,000. Sorry, let me pause here. So the net savings for that department is $286,000, approximately. Move too fast. Okay. Next is the Teaching and Learning Department, which has had one of the most significant changes being proposed tonight. Again, this is the in direct response to the reduction in force and the subsequent efforts to be responsible for our declining enrollment and current needs. The proposed reorganization for this department includes the merging of the Curriculum and Instruction and Student Services Department into one renamed Teaching and Learning, as it has been the case prior to this last reorganization. As previously mentioned, the Family and Community Programs, currently part of the CNI, will become its own small department at HOI, changing the title from the programs to Family and Community Engagement. Isaac Online Preparatory, IOPA, is a program that will not be continuing next year, as it is not a financially sustainable program, and it's currently costing the district funds to operate in the range of $338,000 to $548,000 The positions highlighted in yellow have been part of the reduction in force. There are also some positions that were vacant this year, represented in green, and represented in gray, and changes in green represent the changes in title for the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction and Preschool Coordinator. The print shop has been moved to the Support Services Department. Student Services is the other department being merged as part of the Teaching and Learning Department. The positions in yellow have been part of the reduction in force, while the remaining roles in blue will become part of the proposed reorganization for the Teaching and Learning Department. As a result of the reorganization, as you can see here, the net savings for this newly proposed department is projected to be approximately $1.4 million. We will now review the departments conforming the executive team, beginning with Support Services. This department has had significant changes as the result of the reduction in force indicated in yellow and the outsourcing of custodial, grounds, and food services, which are all indicated in the proposed reorganization for this department. As a result of this reorganization, the net savings for Support Services is projected to be approximately $130,000, not including the cost reduction as a result of the outsourcing, which has been shared in previous meetings to have been an estimate of $975,000 in services alone. Next is the Technology Department. As many other departments, technology has also been impacted in reduction in force, along with an on-field position they have had this year. The net savings for the reorganization of the Technology Department is projected to be $94,000. Lastly, the Family and Community Engagement Department is proposed to be renamed, like I just mentioned, to an Engagement Department and moved out of the Curriculum and Instruction Department umbrella to be a department represented within the executive team. The reduction of the secretary position that was vacant for the majority of the year has been accounted for within the grant funds for the for the Heart of Isaac Community Center. This last slide captures the summary of the financial impact for payroll and benefits, or salary and benefits, as I have been sharing throughout today's presentation, representing the cost of the current organizational chart, which includes the 92 members, and to 72, a total of 67 positions, that is the 25 position reduction that I mentioned at the start of my presentation. The summary also includes the net savings, which is estimated to be approximately $1 million for the next year for your consideration. And at this time, I am happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions?
Madam President,
Mr. Garwa?
Dr. Lema, I think you mentioned the number of folks that were being ripped. What was that number?
I'm sorry?
Oh, the number of people that are being reduction in force as a result of it?
25.
25, okay, thank you.
Did you have any further questions, Mr. Garwa?
No.
No? Does the board have any further questions?
Madam President?
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes, what are the changes or the reductions that's going to be done and effective to community outreach to the parent educators and all that? What exactly is the change in that?
So this department, the change is they used to be part of the Curriculum and Instruction Department, and now they will become part of the executive team. So they will no longer be reporting to Curriculum and Instruction as they do this year. There is no change in terms of the outreach specialist and family education. They had a secretary that was vacant for the majority of the time, and that cost has been absorbed by the grant that covers part of the Heart of Isaac team. Parent educators will continue to report to the school site.
Oh, okay. And also, the casita is gonna still be available for parent involvement there as well for classes and stuff.
The Heart of Isaac
Yeah.
is,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, that concludes my question. Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, hearing none. Call for the vote. Okay, motion carries. Next, we have item B, request to approve the ROI Properties as listing agent to sell property located at 4135 West Thomas Road. Dr. Lily Mesa Lema, interim superintendent, and Beth Jo Zanes from ROI Properties. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Lema?
Madam President, members of the board, Isaac Community, tonight we have a request for your consideration and approval to have ROI Properties as the listing agent for the sale of the property at 4135 West Thomas Road, or the former Business Service Building. I would like to invite Ms. Beth Jo Zates, who will be representing ROI Properties, to provide you with more information about their services.
Thank you very much, board members and those of you in the district here. I wanted to provide a brief overview of the work that we've done to date, which includes valuation and then a strategic marketing plan, the listing agreement, and then some information about the educational real estate services we provide. I'll do just a very high-level overview, but you have a package in front of you that is more comprehensive, but will take, some time to go through. So I would certainly welcome any questions that you might have. Thank you. As well as any questions that might arise later that you have questions on. The subject site that we are looking at potentially selling is at 4135 West Thomas Road. It does consist of property that is 7,800 square feet, about 7,800 square feet of improvements. It is on just a little over an acre, and it is mid-block on Thomas Road, meaning it is not a hard corner, but it certainly is, could be used for retail or other use. And it is a well-located site that is in high demand. It is currently being used, it was previously being used for your business office operations, as I understand that. And prior to that, it was actually operated as a bank, large bank building. So what we did as far as from a valuation perspective, there are about 8 comparable sales that are considered to be really relevant for this site. And they range in value from $140 a square foot up to about $227 a square foot. Most of the sites that are on the higher end of the range are really well located hard corner sites. So they have traffic visibility coming from multiple directions, very strong demographics, and really good positioning. Again, this site is a mid-block site, so we did take into account some discounting there. So this is on the comparable sales analysis chart, which is about page 4 in your presentation materials. And we settled on valuation between $155 to $175 a square foot. So that puts the site at about 1.2 to a little over in 1.37 million. So we are suggesting listing the property at 1.45 million. And we do expect significant interest. We do a lot of work in this area on retail properties, but there is also a affordable home building site that is just south of this location as well. So that's another potential use. But other than that, we believe it would likely go to a retail use. So the valuation that we are suggesting is listing the property actually at 1.45 million. So you'll see that information on the next page, which is page 5, listing it at $185 a square foot, which gets us to 1.45 million. We did also provide you in your package with some a strategic marketing plan. We believe that this site likely goes to the folks that are going to be most interested in the site would be a retail use, but it also could go retail/office or some form of mixed use, but it's going to be somebody that's going to be coming in and doing some redevelopment or repositioning of the property. It does need some work, and but it has good bones, as we say. We are also doing a lot of work with Taiwanese investors as well as owner-occupant users, and this site might be of interest to them. We would certainly plan to reach out to those in the brokerage community as well as redevelopers and those who are repositioning assets within the area, as well as owner-occupants, somebody that's going to actually own and occupy that site. So a very broad reach from a marketing perspective to be able to niche down and get to a buyer that's going to pay highest and best use. So lots of different strategies from a marketing perspective, certainly internet-based strategies, but then we do a lot of e-blasts and calling on owner occupants as well as brokers and others within the marketplace. The next document that we have here is the proposed listing agreement. Your counsel, Clyde Dangerfield, has already had an opportunity to review the listing agreement, did provide some substantial comments, all of which have been incorporated. And so, with the board's approval, we should be ready to move forward with this. But we do have some very good comments from Mr. Dangerfield there. And then the following document, the last document in your package, is actually kind of our educational real estate services. So we work with many school districts, and we're well positioned to work with your district, of course, in these real estate assets, and deliver certainly highest and best valuation for the property. We work with a number of different school districts, including Glendale Elementary, as well as Paradise Valley School District, Creighton, Madison, and a number of others, and certainly understand the formality involved in the process, and certainly proactive reporting, and most importantly, being able to achieve highest and best value for the property. At this point, I wanted to keep everything brief, but certainly would welcome any questions that you have, whether it's now or whether you have questions down the road as well.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions?
Madam President?
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I appreciated all of the additional information that was in the front as far as strategic planning and what have you. Just a big, quick question on you. One of the things that I always look at is commission basis. So if there's not a third party, then the actual commission goes down to 5% versus 6%. Is that correct?
Yes, I think the way we've drafted the listing agreement, and I'll check to make sure, it's 6% split 50-50 with a cooperating broker. And in the event that there is no other broker involved, then we can reduce our fee down. So if that is not in here, we can certainly incorporate that in and appreciate the, you know,
Well,
The-
I'm
the
just looking
question.
at an additional point that we could get money from, so
I appreciate that. Yeah,
that's all the questions I have, Madam President.
thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Okay, call for the vote. Okay, motion carries. Now, do I have a motion to approve the whole consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Motion carries. Now we have call to the public.
Madam President, members of the governing board, this evening we have 3 public requests to address the governing board. We would like to remind the public that personal attacks upon board members, staff personnel, or other persons in attendance or absent by individuals who address the board are discouraged. Presenters are cautioned that statements or representations concerning others that convey an unjustly unfavorable impression may subject the presenter to civil action for defamation. Policies KE, KEB, KEC, and KED are provided by the board for disposition of legitimate complaints, including those involving individuals. Upon conclusion of the open call to the public, individual members of the board may respond to any criticism made by an individual who has addressed the board. The audience is cautioned to please limit your comments to 3 minutes. The first public request to address the governing board comes from Ms. Rosa Duarte. The second public request to address the governing board comes from Ms. Crystal Perez.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Mesalema, and Isaac community. I had no intention of doing a call to the public tonight, but I received a letter yesterday from HR stating that I was being moved from being the school counselor to being a special education resource teacher for the rest of the school year. In the school closure meeting on April 3rd, it was stated that we would be keeping school counselors, so I am confused as why I am being moved with 5 weeks left. A replacement for our 4th and 5th grade students was never hired when the resource teacher didn't return on October 21st. The hiring freeze didn't occur until December, and I was told the hiring freeze also included special education teachers. By law, students are required to receive their special education minutes, so we should have been able to get a special education teacher right away. A week prior to spring break, I met with Mr. Martinez, who told me that the principals were supposed to get together to look at which resource teachers could come over and help service our students. Weeks went by, and eventually we received help for K-3 only. The teachers who came to help were told that since 4th and 5th hadn't received services this long anyway, they didn't need to worry about them. We have resource teachers in the district who have 16 to 18 students on their caseloads, which is extremely low, and they can easily come over and help out. Even now, we were supposed to have someone come over 1 day a week for our 4th and 5th grade students, and that person called in sick the first day she was supposed to come to our school and has yet to show up. My position as a school counselor is currently funded under the School Safety Program grant through the State Department. I recently attended a meeting on April 4th for the grant, and the people who oversee it made it very clear that there are certain requirements for the grant, and if one school does not follow through with these requirements, the entire district loses the grant. If we are trying to save money, why would I be taken off of a grant-funded position and put onto the district's budget? Also, we risk the grant by making this move since there is paperwork that has to be done for the grant by the end of the year by me. Losing this grant would be a detriment to our district, and losing counselors and social workers would not be what's best for our students, especially given the situation right now. I have also not been given a guarantee that I can return to the school counseling position next year, even though the contract I signed says counselor. As the proud vice president of the Isaac Association, I have done so much for this district, including walking for overrides and elections, and most recently speaking at the Tolleson School Board as a member of that community so they would give us the loan to make payroll. On a personal note, I've spent the last 23 years in the Isaac district and waited so long to become a school counselor. So when this opportunity finally presented itself this school year, I applied and received my dream job. It is unfair that because I have additional certifications and I am good at my job, I am being forced into another position. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The third public request to address the governing board comes from Ms. Heather Ayers.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, the Isaac exec team, the amazing Isaac staff and community members. Many of you know me. My name is Heather Ayers and I have served in this district for 24 years. I'm a strong union leader and I have served certified and classified staff to make sure that the voices of those working closest to our students were heard. This included working conditions and yes, raises. I also have served on a variety of committees and have worked countless hours of unpaid time to make sure that staff voices were heard. And I am not saying this for recognition, praise, or even a simple thank you. I do it because I am a servant leader and I honestly feel that I am a part of this community and care deeply for our students and families. 24 years I've worked in this district. That is my whole career, and that is half of my life that I have put into this district. A couple weeks ago, I got a letter emailed to me on a Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock telling me that I was being non-contract renewed. I honestly knew that my job was probably going to be going away. That wasn't the issue. The issue is that after 24 years, someone from HR couldn't pick up the phone and tell me personally. The word compassion has been thrown around a lot around here, and I can honestly say that I have seen little compassion given to any of our staff during this time. This is a job that involves people, and people have feelings. I understand that Mr. Kenny is a businessman and he is focused on how to get this business back on track after this horrible situation that people here have been forced to suffer the consequences for, even though we did nothing wrong. But our district administration is in the job of people and should be showing the utmost compassion for all people in this district. Needless to say, I'm very disappointed. Board members, I know you have little to say in this issue right now, but I want you to know that only those working directly with the students in this district are taking a 3 to 6% pay cut this next year. It takes us at least 2 years to even get 4%, and now that's gone. Every year, educators make less and less because our state does not value public education. Most of us at the school level live paycheck to paycheck. We can't keep up with the price of inflation. But why aren't others taking cuts as well? Maybe if everyone took a pay cut, we could all take a little less of a pay cut collectively. I fear for this district next year. I fear that our students will not have the best because so many people are leaving the district and frankly, the profession. Will we even have enough teachers to effectively teach our students next year? Maybe if we would have had a little bit more respect and compassion, many amazing educators would have stayed here instead of continuing to move on and not be employed here next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have information enrollment, 5,050. Calendar, April 18th, no school, spring recess. And our next special governing board meeting will be held 5 p.m. on Thursday, April 24th, 2025, here at the Isaac Middle School Gymnasium located at 3402 West McDowell. Now we have executive session. Do I have a motion for possible action to convene to executive session pursuant to ARS 38431.0383, discussion for consultation for legal advice with the attorney of assignment of public officer superintendent assignment contract? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Motion carries. Okay, now, I need a motion to approve to end executive session and reconvene in regular session. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Okay, motion carries. Next is adjournment of the meeting. If I don't hear any, objections, meeting adjourned.